Send you,
Okay,
share
I
your.
have to share again the presentation.
Yeah, I think it's you can.
Okay,
I
can you see
see.
it now? Yeah, okay,
Oh,
good.
because I use my on phones, my phone internet.
Yeah. Okay. So that would be it's all about connections, right? Okay. So yesterday we were able to discuss and finish already, okay, on how to identify different types of information, identifying if that would be according to account, the cause and effect, description, opinion, reaction, and for the summary. Why do we need to understand them? Because again, in an IELTS exam, Khoi, okay, there would be this, like this kind of test in reading, wherein you will going to match the information, okay, and the information to the from the text maybe or from the question. So you will going to match them. And again, in order for you to match them, you should, and to save time, you should have to use approach. So what kind of approach are those? So we are talking about this one. So these are all approaches that we can be able to use in order to save time, because matching information tasks can take time in the
Yes.
reading test. Okay? So if you already had the so-called what is this one, the so-called approach on how to identify them, on how to label them, so it's easy for you to understand. Okay? Okay, so we all know if you're talking about reaction, that means something that you react. Okay? It can
Yes.
be it can be based on your facial expression, right? Because you were shocked. Okay, just like in here, right? An opinion is not something that is factual, that is based on facts yet. So that is just only an opinion. Like, for example, if it is just only an opinion of the writer, so that's his or her opinion. Okay? That is not yet um, based on evidence or facts. Okay?
Yes.
When we are talking about cause and effect, that means there would be a cause, and after that one, after the cause, there would be the effect. Okay, like for example, okay, if you will not going to eat, okay, what happened to you? You will die. Okay? Okay? You will be hungry, okay, if you will not going to eat. So that would be the cause is not eating. The effect should be you will be hungry. Okay? So that's the
Yes.
cause and effect. And for the summary, this is what I would like to emphasize again, that there would be very simple. The summary can be can be understand, okay, by the use of the words like overall, like to summarize, or the summary, okay, all in all. So we have signal words, okay? And then for the description, that means you will going to describe what happened, okay? And then description, like for example, about something, about color, okay? Meaning it's all about adjectives, right? We are describing. And for the account, you are responsible for your action. Okay, so yeah, that would be an account. Okay, when when you do something, and then what would be the effect of that also? Okay, the effect will be going, you will be put into prison, okay, because you did something wrong. So you are accountable for what you've done. Okay,
Yes.
so that would be it. Now there would also be additional for that, okay, the so-called factual problems and reason. Okay? But of course, cause and effect is there. Opinions, we already discussed that one. Summary, it's there. Okay? So now, this time, we will be going to do the same. We will be going to skim the text for the main ideas again, and then label its paragraph with one or more of the descriptions from the back. So these are also um, additional approach that you need to understand. Okay, factual, problems, and reason. Okay, Khoi?
Get it?
Okay, so we have here in letter A, again, the approach again would be you will be going to identify them based on the approaches in here. So what do you think would be letter A is all about? Can I make this
Let's
one
say is
smaller so that we can be able to see the above information? Can you see it?
yes.
Yeah, okay. I'm sorry, but I need to do this so that we can be able to see them above. And then also the text. Okay, number one has been given. Okay, so the
I
answer
think
is
letter A is cause and effect.
no, actually, there would be an answer in here because number
Oh,
one is all about opinion and factual. So there would be two answers in here. It could be an opinion and it could be a factual. Now, why is it it's opinion and it's factual? Okay, let's try to study them, huh? I have to make this one bigger so that we can see them. Okay, now let's try to read them. In recent years, there has been growing concern by researchers and indeed the older generation that the younger generation are somewhat disengaged from the news and as a result have a very narrow view of the world around them. This, however, couldn't be further from the truth as shown by a recent study carried out by the Media Insight Project called the American Press Institute and Associated Press. According to the research, okay? So it's just a research. 85% of youngsters say that keeping up to date with the news is important to them. And 69% receive news on a daily basis. Now, opinion. So why it makes this opinion? Because because
Because there are 85% of youngsters say that keeping up to date with the news is important to them.
okay, because this is based on
The research.
research. Okay? So that means based on the opinion of maybe they conducted the survey about this one, right? So that they can be able to have come up with this particular what is one outcome. Okay, that 85% of youngsters say that keeping up to date with the news is important to them, and 69% receive news on a daily basis. Now, why is it slash factual? Is it based on facts? Is this also based on facts or evidences? Yes. Okay, because it has been studied. Okay, so it has been studied, it has been conducted. Okay, and therefore they got this particular outcome. Okay, that's
Yes.
why this is also considered to be factual. Okay, if only if they doesn't gather the so-called outcome, well, we cannot say that this one is based on facts. So
Yes.
maybe this is just only an opinion. Let's say, for example, if this one is not included, it's just only up to here, we can say that this is just only based on opinion. Okay? But however, it's in there. However, there would be, or look at this one, however, couldn't be further from the truth as shown by a recent study carried out by a media insight project. So, they conducted a survey or a study. And then after that, they come up with this particular evidences. So that therefore, this becomes factual. Okay?
Yes.
Next. What
Get
about
it.
in letter B, Khoi?
Let it be perhaps for some
Yes.
older generation felt this.
Perhaps what some of the older generation fail to understand is that just because the
Um,
younger generation
it
does
is
not,
the reason.
hmm,
No, actually is
look at this. It doesn't mean that they don't follow the news. Born into a digital age, or more specifically, the age of the internet, the younger generation simply accesses news through the digital devices they grew up using, such as what are these digital devices? Laptops, tablets, smartphones, etc. As a recent study produced by Ofcom revealed that 60% of youngsters in the United Kingdom use the internet or apps for news, compared to just 21% of those in the older age range. So what do you think would be letter B is all about?
I think it's unfactual,
Hmm?
right? It's it
Letter
is
B
factual.
is factual,
Mm, Not really.
not really.
Isn't
It's
it's some
really. It's really a factual.
factual?
Why?
Oh,
Again, there was a
please God.
study conducted. So there was a study conducted, produced by Ofcom, that 60% of youngsters in the United Kingdom use the internet, and 21% of those in the older age range. So there was an evidence showing, okay, this particular outcome. So we can say that this one is also factual. So there would be an evidences that we can be able to say. But aside from factual, we still have also one. Now, again, remember, on our first encounter or exercise in here, okay, it's just only one. Okay? But in here, we can have two. It's a combination of both. Okay? So it can be, okay, definitely, yes, you are right. It's factual because there was a study, okay, conducted. And then aside from factual, what do you think would be is that?
Maybe opinion. No, summary. Summary.
No, we
Oh,
cannot
what?
summarize that one. Perhaps some of the older generation fail to understand is that because the younger generation does not buy a daily newspaper. Okay, so what do you think would be that one? So,
Maybe
aside,
that's an opinion.
no, not an opinion.
The
Okay,
reason why something happened?
reason.
Oh,
Okay,
yes.
so it's a reason. Okay, because there was a reason in here, right?
Yes.
Okay. So what are the reasons in here? Okay, what
The
are the
reason that's
reasons?
decision. That's why does some older generation fail to understand why the youngster doesn't follow the new in their opinion, but in fact they are access to the internet to
Yes,
look
a
out for
reason. right?
Yes.
So it can be based on facts and it can be based on reason. So reasoning, it's based on the reason, okay?
Mm.
Next, letter C.
Let's see.
Yeah, in
Where
letter
is
C,
this?
social media also plays an
Place.
important part in consuming the news for the younger generation. It was also revealed that most youngsters actually don't seek out news from social media but choose to follow it once they see it there. In other words, they encountered accidentally and therefore following the news is secondary. For example,
The
excessive
reason.
social media. So that would be
The reason.
no, no, it's not a
Summary.
reason.
Summary.
It's not a summary as well.
Mm. Maybe factor.
No.
Oh,
Okay,
so what is
let's,
it?
huh?
So what is it in your opinion?
It's cause and effect.
Oh, cost
Okay.
and
Yes. Oh, look at
so.
this one, huh? Social media also plays an important part in consuming the news for younger generation. So that would be maybe part of the cause. Okay, because it was revealed that most youngsters actually don't seek out news from a social media, but chose to follow it once they see it there. In other words, they encountered it accidentally. Okay, and then the effect would be this cuts the user's eye and consequently the news link is clicked and followed. Okay, so this one is cause and
Effect.
effect. Okay, because there would be a cause. So what's the cause? Okay, social
Cost.
media. It's a social media. Youngsters or younger generation, they use social media, but of course, they do not place an important part in consuming the news, right? No, actually young generations would like to explore the internet, okay, but
Mm.
not the news.
Oh
Okay,
yes. Just read
sometimes
accidentally.
yes, see, so
Yes.
th- they going to view the news if they accidentally click that one maybe. Okay? So they will be going to, and maybe if that would be based on their let's say they're a fan of something like a game. Okay, so it's a news, it's a game news. Okay, or
Mm.
if you are a fanatic or if you are a fan of an actors and actress, so you will going to watch what the news, but not the news that happened in our country or in the world. Okay, but
Yes.
that would be entertainment news. Okay, so it depends on your interest.
Interest.
Yeah, right. Because if you are not
Yes.
interested on what happened to your country or to the world, oh, I will not going to, but right to I'm not going to open
Yes.
it. I'm not going to click that one. Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
So this one is cause and effect. Okay. What about letter D?
Let's see. Bạn đi đâu? Bạn đi nào?
Okay. Uh, what is one
Là
clue? There would also be two in here.
mm, okay. I think it's the is this a problem?
Yes. Okay.
Oh,
It's a problem actually. Okay. The other one is a problem. Okay. It's a
yes.
problems. So we do have a lot of problems in here that we encountered. What are those problems? What are
Mm-hmm.
those?
Uh, problem is
Yeah, look at this. Economics, local crime, right? Youngsters
Yes.
continue to look up original sources. For accuracy and reliability, television is still the preferred choice for both
Both
generations.
generation.
Okay, now aside from problems, what else?
Aside from problem, so it can be a factor.
Yes, definitely.
Yes.
See? So it can be factual. So based on evidence. Okay,
Mm.
although it wasn't mentioned in here, what is a survey or a study conducted, but this is not an opinion. Okay, but this one is based on facts. Okay, so they had maybe a source for this one because they directly look at this one. Told here, okay, or inform the readers that social networks are being used selectively. Okay, so where did
Mm.
they come up with this particular reason that social networks are being used selectively? So maybe they gather informations about that. So that would be based on evidences or facts. Okay, next. Letter E. So what do you think is letter E? Okay, it's just
Mm.
only one. According to Alison Preston, head of the media literacy research at Ofcom. Oh, remember, huh? uh,
Okay.
according to Alison Preston. Now, if we are talking about, let's say, if we are citing news maybe or a work or a written document coming from a particular person, that means we are
Okay.
talking about,
The motivation for following the news.
okay, but what do you think would be the approach? Is it cause and effect? Is it opinion, reason?
It's a reason. The reason
Based
why.
on Alison Preston.
Oh, so that's in cause and effect.
No, 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 no. Based on. Okay.
Factor or factor.
No. Okay. Based on maybe the research of Alison Preston. Okay. Who is Alison Preston? It's the head of the media literacy research at Ofcom. So maybe this one is she didn't able to what? To conduct a survey in here. Okay, that she could show that this one is true or this one is based on facts.
Mm.
So this one is her
Uh,
own.
Opinion.
Yes. Okay,
Mm.
so this is just only her own opinion. Okay, so this is not based on facts yet. So an opinion. Okay, so that would be
Yes.
opinion. Next. The last one, letter F. Ah, again, there would be a clue.
Okay, it's of
Of course, right?
summary.
It's the summary. Okay,
Or
see? Now,
overall
you
summary.
have now an idea of what a summary is. Huh?
Yes.
Overall, okay, all in all, to
Inclusion.
summarize, right? Okay, so
Inclusion.
yes, inclusion. So those are signal words that would be the summary. Okay, Koi? Okay, so
Yes.
we had already added additional approach from the one that we discussed yesterday. Okay, and therefore we can be able to you can be able to apply that one on the real test of the IELTS. Okay, remember again that matching information tasks can take time. Okay, can eat a lot of your time. So in order to prevent that one, in order to save your time, please, again, first thing to do, skim. Skimming is very effective again.
Yes.
Okay? After that one, do the approach. Okay, so how many approaches do we have? Okay, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So we do have 8 approaches. Okay?
Okay.
Okay. So the cause in here is separated. Sometimes it's just only the cause. Okay. Sometimes just only an effect. Okay. And sometimes it's together. So cause and effect. But of course, if there would be a cause, there would always an effect, Koi, right? Okay. So
Yes.
that would be the cause and effect must go together. Okay. Okay, so do you have any clarifications before we have to move on?
No.
No more. Okay, now let's proceed. Oh, I guess you know this one, right? The passive. Okay, so we have 4 passives in here. Now, when we are talking about passive, what is a passive? So we are talking about the voices of the verbs.
I know
Right,
it.
Koi? So what are the
Yes.
voices of the verbs? We have 2 voices of the verbs. We have the so-called active and we have also the passive. Okay, so we will not going to study active in here, but we will be going to discuss passive. Would you like me to discuss this? Or
Mm,
it's already
it's kind of
understood
easy.
to you? It's very easy. Or let me see.
Yeah.
Number one is given. So, okay, tell me why is this under the present simple passive?
Because you know, recent simple is we have our structure is
Yeah, that's correct.
subject plus to be verb
Yeah,
plus
correct.
v particle or ed verb.
Past participle. Very good. Okay. So it should be, that's correct. So that would be the structure. Wow, huh? So you were able to, you were able to tell me the structure. Okay. Okay.
Yes.
What about if we are talking about the present perfect passive?
Versus perfect passive structure plus has or have plus being plus past particle and ed verb.
Okay. If our subjects would be I, you, we, they.
Yes.
So following after that would be has or
Have.
have. It's
Have.
have. Very good. If our subjects would be he, she, it should be has. Very good. Okay. What about if we're talking about present continuous passive?
Present continuous.
Of course.
Subjects to be verb, being and
Been,
particle.
correct.
The
Been plus
uh,
ing.
past particle and ed verb.
Okay. Okay. So that would be present continuous passive. Okay. So I guess you already understood this one. So we don't need to discuss this one further. Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Mhm.
Now, I just have to make a little just what is one additional for the exam skills for this
Sure.
one, Koi. So the reading passage in the reading, huh? How the younger generation consumes the news has 6 paragraphs. So that would be A to F. So which paragraph contains the following information? So in an IELTS exams, it can also be, the question can also be like this. So you will be going to what again? You will be going to match again the information with that particular what? Particular paragraphs. Okay? So it's very easy and sometimes you need to what? You need to um so what are we going to understand
Um,
in order to what is on in order to match the information with the passage. Again,
yes.
it can be a passage, it can be the one that we studied. It can be a news, right? It can be like this. Okay. So these are all informations. It can also be like this, a quote. Okay. So it depends on whatever would be the style in the IELTS exam. Okay, so um, whether it's a quote, whether it's a passage, whether it's a paragraph, okay, so you will going to match them also, just like what we did. Okay, and again, remember again, in matching the information, it's very it can take time, so use the approaches that you've learned, okay, so that to maximize your time. Okay, Koi? um Most of the test takers of the IELTS failed in the reading tests because they
Okay.
consume so much of their time.
Yes.
Okay, not just only in speaking, because actually there would be a hard time if you are not if you are not a native speakers. Like for example, if you are not a native English speakers, so there would be a hard time for you to improve your speaking skills. Okay, why? Because you're not used to that. Okay, so most of the test takers, although they're good when it comes to reading, they're good when it comes to writing, they're good when it comes to what else? Reading, writing, and the other one, aside from speaking, reading, writing,
Reading, writing, speaking,
and
listening.
listening. Okay, so they're good at three. So reading, writing, and listening, but sometimes they failed in the speaking tests. Okay, why?
Yes.
Yeah, because
So listening.
yeah, okay, so
Ah,
therefore,
yes, we all know it. We all know
yeah.
it.
So
We
you
all know
should
the
have,
reason.
and you should have to do that one that you need to pass the four. Okay? The four test.
Okay.
Okay, Koi? So do you have any questions with regards to this?
No, no.
Okay, so let's proceed to the writing. Okay, again, our focus is the news and media. So, news and media again. Now, in this particular lesson in writing Koi, we will be going to understand the use of the time markers and the passive to describe a process. Okay?
Mm,
And then
yes.
plan a description of that process and interpret the scientific and technical diagrams. So when we are talking scientific, what do we mean by that? On your own point of view or understanding, when we say scientific,
Scientific is something belong to science.
based on
Beyond science.
evidence, yeah, because science
Evidence.
is a systematized knowledge based on facts or evidence. So therefore, it's based on facts and technical diagrams. So when we are talking about technical diagrams, again, of course, that involves computer. Okay, the way you use them. So that would be technical. Okay, and the use of a diagram. Okay, Koi? Okay, now for the lead-in activity that we have in here, in the writing test, you might be asked to describe a process. Look at sentence A, okay, A to G in here. So the sentences A to G, okay? And describing a process for writing a local news story. Then order the sentences using the pictures to help you. So how are we going to do that, Koi? Okay. If you are about to do that one, so how are you going to do that?
Mm-hmm.
Can you tell me?
First one, they will think they have to
Okay,
come with an
I have
ID.
to, okay, wait for a while. We have to match them again, huh? From the, okay, I'm sorry, I have to make this one smaller so that we can see them all. Okay, look at this one. So let's try to look at sentences A to G. Okay, describing these are all processes, right? Processes. Okay, next. So what are we going to do is how to write a local newspaper story. Okay, number one, that would be
Hmm.
letter.
Number one, that's
How are we going to write a local news story?
yes, on letter E.
That's correct. Okay, so definitely the
Letter
first
E.
one is letter E. Okay, and this one is, okay, this one. Number one, that's letter E. Okay, next, what about number two? Number two is letter,
Number two is letter G.
okay. So
Mm-hmm.
there would be a guide in here, right?
Yes.
Okay. So what do you think would be that word? Okay, first, second,
And
first,
third,
secondly, right? Okay,
first,
next. Then after that, so this one
we
is
have
letter
G.
G. Then after that, number three is
Number
letter,
three, C.
yes. So the third one is letter C. Why is it letter C? Because there would be a guide word in here. That would be thirdly, right? Okay, then
Yes.
after that, number four, that would be
Number four,
letter.
the A.
Mhm.
No, actually is letter
Okay,
letter
let's
F.
let's try to understand, huh? First, okay, in writing a local newspaper,
Oh, letter D. Letter D.
correct, okay? So this one is number four. Okay, we're writing a local newspaper, huh? Okay, the steps. So we are going to know that. So that would be letter D, number four. Okay? And then next, after
Letter
that
A.
one, that would be correct.
Letter A.
Letter A, right?
Yes.
Is that what you're saying? So that would be number five. So letter E. Letter A. Okay. Next, number six.
C. Is letter, I guess is letter F.
That's correct. Okay. And
And the
after
last one,
that, okay. So what is the word so that we can be able to understand that that would be the last one? Of course, the word
is
finally,
submit.
right? Yeah. So if we're talking about the paragraph, so what is our signal words? Summarize, the summary, overall, all in all. But in here, the so-called finally. We can also use that one in the what? In the above lesson that we have, right? So sometimes
Yes.
it's written finally, so that means that would be the summary, right? Okay,
Mm.
so finally, this one is the steps. Okay, so these are the steps on how you will going to write a local newspaper. Okay, look at this one, huh? The instruction would be describing a process for writing a local news story, then order the sentences using the pictures to help you. Okay? Okay, so did we able to do that one? Number six is
Number
letter
second,
F. And the
F.
number seven, that
Letter
would
B.
be letter B. Okay. So, based on the picture, Khoi, can you be able to write a local news story? It's based on the picture only.
Okay. I think in actually I was structured with the step five.
Hmm? Why?
Mm. No, no, I was structured with the contents of what I'm going to write.
What do you mean? What do you mean by that?
I mean, if I'm write for local newspaper, I would the hardest step I would structure with the contents I write. Um,
Okay. Can you revise that one? Your explanation. The what did you say
because
again?
um the hardest part I have encountered that
Okay.
is the contents.
So the hardest.
The contents I write.
Why? Why is it's the
Um,
hardest?
we have to think of the what's happened in a circumstance, and what are we going to say is objective or emotional to pursue our viewer, our readers.
That's
Okay.
correct. Okay. So it's not easy writing a newspaper.
Yes.
Okay. So writing a newspaper is not so easy. Okay. As if others might say, oh, you just have to write. Okay. You just have to write. But they don't know that in writing a newspaper, there would also be technicalities. That's why, again, we have based on the scientific and technical diagrams, because if you will not going to use that one, what would happen? Do you think the readers will going to read your news if you are a writer? No,
Yes.
right? No, the readers will not going to love your
News.
your news, right?
Yes.
They will
True.
not going to read that one, so no one will going to love that. Why is it writers become a good writer or became a very good writer? Because they what? They base their writings on what you said a while ago, based on feelings, okay, based
Mhm.
on their or based on the reader's ideas also. That's why sometimes most of the writers ask, go around and make a survey. Okay, and then after that one, after making a survey, they will going to write that one, and based from that, of course, readers will going to be enticed of reading the work of that particular writer, because um, that would be their ideas. Okay, Koy?
Yes.
Okay. Next, do you have any questions so far with this?
No
So
question.
again, it's not easy. Now, what do you think would be, why do we need to do this one? Again, writing. Okay? So, writing a newspaper. So maybe in an IELTS exam, you are about to write a newspaper, or you will be what is that? You will be told to write a newspaper. So it's very important to understand the basics. So what are the basics that we are talking? So these are the basics of writing a local newspaper story.
Yes.
Okay? Okay. Now, it's very important to understand. Again, the first thing to do is think of a good idea. Choose a local and interesting news story. So, what are you going to do with that? Of course, you need to go around, right? You need
Sure.
to find a very good subject. Okay, that would be very interesting. Okay, because if that would not be interesting, Readers will not going to read your news. Okay? Second,
True.
second, accompany your story with a picture of a local person or attraction. That's why I don't know if you encountered a what is one a newspaper writer. Have you encountered talk to a newspaper writer or a writer?
Um,
Have you
if I even
encountered?
met somebody like that, I don't know what their job and what they doing.
Really?
Yes, I
Really?
don't know what I do.
Did you ask that person? Have you
I'm not
experienced to meet them, meet with that particular person?
Mr. Person. I think I would be very smart.
Ah, okay. So that would be very good, huh?
What?
Because
What?
that would be a very good thing to do, that you need to meet at least maybe a writer, okay? And then ask his or
Writers.
her idea, okay? A writer, not writers maybe, because if you are going to meet all of them, so you will going to consume a lot of time. So maybe a one writer in Vietnam, maybe, because we're talking about local newspaper. So you will just going to start writing in a local newspaper, okay? Not in
Okay.
international, because it's going to be a wide scope already, okay? If that would be international, okay? Okay, so start with the local newspaper first. And then after that one, the third is think of a good first line. Something which is attention grabbing. Okay, so let's say, for example, number three, look at this one. A local man risks his life today. Did if you are the reader, have you struck with this particular headline? This is what we call the headline, right?
Yes.
So we are talking about the headline. So you need to struck the attention, or you need to grab the attention of the reader. A local man risks his life today. Then maybe you just have to what is what you need to a little bit suspense by writing that right, so that the readers will keep on reading. Oh, what happened? Why is it a local man risks his life today? So
Yes. That is
right, because if you are
interesting.
going to if you are going to explain there on the headline, so they will not going to read your articles anymore. Okay, so that would be, it should be attention grabbing, okay, your headline. Then next, number four. Next, write the main body. So you are now in the body, right? The body of
Main
the
body. Oh,
article
yes.
answering the four W's. What are those? What? Okay, what happened? Why is it that local man risks his life today? And then where? And then why? And then when? Okay? So there you have it. You have now the article. Okay, again, huh? It should be, it should be in the order of this. So what, where, why, and when. It should be the order of that, okay? And then the fifth one. After that, think of a good title of your piece. So what's the title, okay, of your piece? And then check your article for grammatical and spelling errors. So writers would always actually I knew a writer, but this is just only a local writer here in the Philippines, Khoi.
Yes. Yes. Okay.
Actually, I interviewed him. He's not famous yet. He's just a
Yes.
starter. Okay, he's young actually. Okay, he's young, very young. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
and he wanted me to check, okay,
Yes.
his article. Okay, he wanted me to check his article. That's why, according to him, okay, I'm going to pay you to just to check grammatical errors and spelling errors of my of my article. Okay,
Mhm.
because he's not good when it comes to grammar. Okay, why do
Yes.
we need to understand grammar or that the article is perfect? Okay, maybe not 100% perfect because there would be no article that's perfect, that's 100%.
Yes.
Sometimes there would be maybe 98, okay, accuracy, right? Okay,
Mm-hmm.
so why do we need to check the grammar and the spelling errors? Because sometimes readers keeps on, especially the social media now, right? They will
Yes.
going to what? They will be going to make a comment on your article. So
Yes. Checks.
yes. So sometimes they will going to be very vulgar in making a comment like, for example, your grammar is wrong. So would you kindly check your grammar, right? So if you are a writer, what would you feel if someone wrote a comment on your news article on the social media, and again, social media all throughout the world can read that. So
Oh,
what would you feel if someone would do that one to you? Of
wrote
course,
some
it's
negative comment.
embarrassing. Yes, it's
Oh,
embarrassing, right? So therefore, this one actually is the most what is one most tedious and most the what is one that's the longest part of the of writing an article, okay, because you need to what is one you need to check them word for word if it's grammar, if it is based on it's that the grammar is correct or not, right? Okay, and finally, submit your article to your local newspaper via email. Or remember, social media again. Okay, so once you submitted your newspaper, that would be what? For actually, that would not be final yet because that would be for approval yet. Yeah. So once, let's say for example, the local newspaper owner, okay, will going to approve your newspaper or your article, they will going to publish that one,
oh,
right? They will going to publish that one in your local newspaper.
yes.
Okay, if that would be a good newspaper article. Okay,
Yes.
have you experienced that one at least in school? Have you wrote an article before?
Wrote articles. That's the job I have never done in
Oh,
before.
really? Okay.
Yes.
So maybe you have to start thinking about this one now. Okay,
Wrote an
because there
article.
would be what is all sometimes an activity or a test in IELTS that you need to write an article, a news article. Okay? So
Mm,
practice to write this one, Koi, following the following steps on how to write local newspaper. Okay?
forget it.
Okay, so we will going to continue this one tomorrow, and tomorrow is January
Sure.
29,
Oh, I
right?
will remember. Don't. Okay, just don't worry about me. I will remember. You.
Yeah. Okay, so January 29, 2023. So we will going to continue this one tomorrow. Okay?
Okay.
Okay, so if you don't have any more question, Koi, thank you so much for your time. And I really enjoyed having a lesson to you. And I hope you learned something from me today. Have you learned something?
Yeah, of course.
Yes. Okay. So thank you so much. Have a nice day And good night. Have a good night's sleep. Bye bye.
Yes. Good night too.
Okay, bye.